You know, if you're anything like me or my students I work with, we really struggle when we go play because we're out there trying to force it. We're trying to swing too hard. And in an effort to get more power, we think we need to swing harder or faster. When in fact, the reality is we can get a lot of speed and a lot of power and gain a lot of distance by swinging correctly. And one of the ways we can swing correctly, and what this video is all about, is getting the club on track or on plane. Now, there's two ways to swing a club when I see golfers, amateur golfers out on the course or players that I work with. One way makes the swing very effortless and easy, but the other way makes it very effortful, very difficult. Now, the key point there that's gonna make or break if your swing is effortless or very effortful is where you are relative to the all-important swing plane. Now, follow me here when I say this. I'm gonna take my setup position, and if we draw a line up the angle of the shaft at my setup position, it's gonna be on an angle. That's what we call the swing plane. Now, this is like a magic plane. This thing's really, really important because where my club goes during the backswing, either under or over that swing plane, dictates what's gonna happen later on and how easy it is or not. Now, I'm gonna bring in a big club here just so you can see this a little better. And I've laid a couple of little sticks on the ground. I'm gonna show you this little drill here later, this 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock drill. But if we watch really good ball strikers, what they're able to do during the backswing, again, the line up the shaft, they stay right on or slightly outside of that plane line going back. Now, the poor ball striker, or what makes your swing very effortful, all the time I see the club goes too far inside of that plane line, okay? Now, if I do this with a normal club again, and I want you to try this with me, the bad version where I go inside of the plane line, the club on the way back, when it's horizontal like this, is very heavy, very heavy. When I get the club head more on or outside the plane line, the shaft is very light. Try that for yourself. Make a backswing, get the club under plane and horizontal. You're gonna really feel the weight of it, okay? But if we get it outside of that, a bit more vertical, I'll show you how to do that, very light. Now, if the club is heavy or light, do you think that's gonna affect your ability to swing on the way down with lots of effort or very little effort? Of course, right? What feels like it would take less effort? A heavy shaft or a light shaft? A light shaft, okay? So when we go back, the lighter we can make the shaft, which I'll show you how to do, it's gonna be easy when we come down. The heavier the shaft, the more difficult it is when we come down. Hey guys, if you're watching today's video and you enjoy the tips, but you really want to take your game to a whole nother level, my friends here at Performance Golf are hosting beautiful 2-day immersive golf schools with the best golf coaches in the world all around the United States. You know, I find a lot of golfers come in to see us and they're really not able to identify and fix their real root cause. And usually there's like 4 or 5 main swing issues we have, but finding the real one main root flaw that can domino effect and fix all the rest of the pieces is really the thing that makes or breaks someone's improvement. So if you want to make like 1 or 2 years worth of improvements in 2 days, I highly recommend you check out my friends at Performance Golf, these golf schools down below. Click the link down there, see if there's still a spot left in a location that works for you. It could be the thing that transforms your game. Look forward to having an awesome experience. Now, the other thing at play here, before I show you the drill, is where we go relative to that swing plane line is also gonna dictate our downswing. So what I see all the time, a lot of players who struggle, who put a lot of force into the shot, they go under plane, the shaft gets heavy, it goes inside, and then they react to that with a lot of force, a lot of body, and the opposite happens where the shaft starts to come steep on the way down. And then I've got to put a lot of force into trying to fix that, right? That is chaotic. Under, over, heavy, lots of force, no good. But the opposite of that is true, which is I can start to get the club over 2 o'clock, which I'll show you how to do. All of a sudden the shaft gets lighter, and now it wants to start falling down on plane by itself. I don't have to put any effort into it. So it's like an equal and opposite action reaction. When you go under back, you're gonna come over down. That's no good. But if we go over back, then it comes under on the way down. Very, very good. Now, we're gonna train this here with this little 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock station. This is my favorite way to do it. So I've got 3 clubs on the ground. If the golf ball is 12 o'clock, right? This is like 1 o'clock. I've got that club roughly at 2 o'clock, this first one. 3 o'clock is down my toe line. And 4 o'clock is this back club here. Okay, so 2, 3, 4. Now the goal is, and we can all set this up, we all have golf clubs. The goal is when we go back, we draw the line up the shaft. I want you to feel like, from your perspective, that you get the club hinged out over 2 o'clock. Now in reality, from my perspective, so long as it's anywhere between 2 and 3, we're outside or on top of the club plane there, we're good. It's gonna be light, effortless. But I'm trying to get the club out over this 2 o'clock. So notice when I do that, where's this big old club head relative to my hands? Outside of, right? On this side, to the left of, from my point of view, my hands. The bad version would be inside my hands, over 4, that's no good. So step number 1, over 2 o'clock, club head outside my hands. Then when I go back, the shaft's gonna feel lighter. This club doesn't because it's heavy, but your shaft's gonna feel lighter. And then when you come down, I want it where? Now I want it inside over 4 o'clock. See the difference there? So out over 2, in over 4. And I can see that from my point of view, the shaft traces right over that 4 o'clock station on the ground. Now notice as I'm doing this, we're talking about where the club head goes, where the shaft goes. My hands don't go out over 2 and in over 4. My hands, I want to trace right back over 3 o'clock. My hands are just gonna go kind of straight up in one line. It's the club head relative to my hands that's important. So my hands, see, they track straight back. They don't go out with it, they track straight back, but the club's over 2. And when I come down, my hands again are back over 3, but the club's where? Over 4. So the hands go straight back, but the club's out. Hands come straight through, but the club's in. And that little motion there, that little clockwise motion of the club is what creates a lot of speed for free. I don't have to feel like I put more and more effort into it. So I like to do 2 rehearsals, 1 hit. It's a really good way to do it. So I've got my 7-iron, ball's on a tee here. I've got the 2 and 4. I'm gonna swing back over 2, down over 4. Shaft feels very light and very easy for me to do that. Back over 2, down over 4. I've got my target in the distance. I'm gonna feel the same thing. I don't need to swing hard here. Pretty relaxed with my arms and hands at setup. I'm gonna feel like, from my point of view, out over 2, down over 4. And there's a nice example. That ball flew pretty dead straight, solid contact. I feel like I put very little effort into that shot, but I got a lot of speed and a lot of distance for free. Why? Because I set myself up for success. If I get the club outside of that plane line, it's gonna automatically wanna fall underneath it. That's very easy. Feel how light that is on the way back and how easy that is. As soon as you go this way, that's a lot of force in transition, and then even more to try and fix that through impact. Okay, one more time. Hands go straight back, but the club head is out over 2, outside the hands. So notice when I'm doing that, right? There's a little bit of wrist hinge, obviously. Not a lot of forearm rotation. Club's outside on purpose. Out over 2, turn up, down over 4. Out over 2, turn, down over 4. That feels like that's gonna happen by itself. I don't need to put a lot of effort into it. Pretty relaxed with the arms, hands, shoulders at setup. Go out over 2, down over 4. Yeah, and there's a solid one. So even like right there's a good example. Now I overdrew that a little to the left. It's probably like maybe 20, 30 feet left of my target, but I hit it so darn solid and it was very, very easy. And that's the whole goal of this, getting the club on plane and airing on outside and under. You don't have to swing harder to gain more distance. We can do that through swing mechanics. Something you maybe not have heard before, right? This swing plane, but it's super, super important. Use the 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Any questions, as always, leave us a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching.